Hello lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku married Android 18. This is the 6th part to this what if, and if you have not already seen the other 5 parts, I would greatly recommend you go check those videos out before coming back to this one. Several years has passed since the defeat of the androids, or more so the prevention of the android threat. 17, 16, and even Cell were all helped out by Bulma, being recoded, and for 17, having most of his cybernetic enhancements and mental manipulation completely washed. 10 years have passed since that event, and now everyone is gathered back together to participate in the Strongest Under the Heavens tournament, to see who is truly the world's strongest fighter. Although not everything would go to plan, as while Gohan is fighting some mysterious fighter known as Kibito, he would be frozen, and then 2 unknown people would jump into the ring, stabbing something into Gohan, stealing his energy before flying away. Gohan would be given a senzu bean and told about everything that was going on. Those 2 were servants of a wizard named Babidi, who was trying to resurrect an evil power known as Majin Buu. The Supreme Kai had to keep Gohan in place, that way Spopovich and Yamu wouldn't suspect anything and would take his energy, leading them to Babidi. And now the gang would all fly after Spopovich and Yamu in hot pursuit, as well as remaining far enough behind them, that way they could talk as well as overall just follow the 2 lackeys without being noticed. After Supreme Kai gives his normal exposition dump, they would arrive at Babidi's ship, where Deborah would be sent to go and deal with those spectators, while Babidi would kill Spopovich and Yamu before heading back into his ship. Deborah would try and spit on Piccolo, but that was his worst mistake, as Piccolo here is still the strongest out of the group, or at least as far as everybody knows he is. Then Piccolo would instantly power up into his potential unleashed form and wipe Deborah out with a simple Masenko. Then Supreme Kai, in astonishment, would lead them into Babidi's ship, wherein they would fight against Pui Pui, Yakon, and, well, nobody else. Babidi doesn't have anybody else. He would try and take over somebody's mind, but it just wouldn't work. Nobody there is actually stupid enough or evil enough to be taken over by Babidi. So, the wizard is actually defeated and Majin Buu isn't revived. Instead, Supreme Kai would just take the egg and bring it back to the world of the Kais, where they could dispose of it later. And after the peacetime resumes, a few months would pass, and the Supreme Kai would actually have the egg destroyed by the God of Destruction, who has just woken up from his 36-year-long nap. The god would be bored, and as Whis would tell him that even though he can go on whatever exposition he needs to, well, they need to go handle something with the Kais. Then, well, Shin would explain everything to Beerus, everything with the Majin Buu debacle, and how now he just needs to do a simple Hakai and then Buu is gone forever. And Beerus would yawn before being bored and Hakaiing away Buu without a single trace. Then, he would actually take note of something Supreme Kai had said about how they got Buu's egg. They were Saiyans. Saiyans who were strong enough to defeat Deborah, who was the king of the demons. Incredibly powerful, at least for mortal standards, so maybe those Saiyans, or at least one of them, could be the Super Saiyan God. And Whis would interject, saying that one of the Saiyans that helped defeat Majin Buu, or at least stop his resurrection, was actually training with North Kai, or King Kai. And Beerus, being absolutely thrilled that a Saiyan is training with, even if it's a lesser, God, well, he would immediately have Whis bring him to King Kai's planet, wherein Beerus would meet, or I guess reunite, with Prince Vegeta. As remember, King Kai wouldn't have trained Goku here. It was Vegeta who died and Vegeta who trained with the Kai. So Vegeta actually would be the person to meet with Beerus here. And, well, yeah, he is absolutely stunned. Vegeta would be as polite as he can possibly be, and as nice as he can possibly be. And when Beerus actually wants to test out the Saiyan's power, Vegeta would power up into Super Saiyan 2, even adding Kaioken on top to the 5th power. Super Saiyan 2 Kaioken times 5. This was the highest level Vegeta could reach at the moment, and Beerus is absolutely astounded. But he's not as strong as the Cat God, not even close. Although for mortal standards, this is incredibly powerful. But then Whis would mention that there are a few other Saiyans on Earth, so they should probably just go there and take a visit to that planet, see if there are any Super Saiyan gods there. And Vegeta would interject saying that no, don't go to Earth, being afraid that the Cat God might just destroy it. So Vegeta would say that he does have a higher level he could go to, although it might tear his body apart. So Beerus, with a slight smirk, would ask if the Saiyan was holding out on him. He would say no, it's just his body might rip apart from all the power. So Vegeta, going into Super Saiyan 2 once more, would power up to Kaioken times 20, which absolutely astounds Beerus. It's incredibly powerful. Again, nothing compared to him, but maybe this is the closest thing they can get to becoming a Super Saiyan God. Actually, probably not. They're still going to go to Earth. So Vegeta would ask to tag along if they really are going to go, as he also might have potentially forgotten about Bulma's birthday party, so yeah, he should probably go back anyway. Then the three of them would return to planet Earth, where Beerus would meet with Goku, as well as a few other Saiyans, such as Nappa, Raditz, and even Gohan, who, need I remind you, has kept up with his training. So Beerus, looking around to try and find the strongest one out of any of them, would pinpoint Gohan, who is probably the strongest person here. Not just strongest Saiyan, strongest person. Gohan's potential is insane, and he has been training this entire time. So after Gohan enters Super Saiyan 2, he's even stronger than Vegeta once he went into Kaioken times 5. Saying he's stronger than Kaioken times 20 Vegeta feels a little wrong, but maybe Beerus can push him to even surpass that. So the two would have a brief sparring session, and Beerus, although having an insane upper hand, would see Gohan's growth and be incredibly impressed, asking if he has anything more than this, as he feels that there's something deep within Gohan he might be able to pull out, or at least maybe another form he can get him to unlock. Gohan would say that he does have something, but it's more experimental. He's not really sure if it's actually going to work. He feels like there's been something beyond the Super Saiyan 2 threshold, but he just hasn't been able to tap into it, although his father agrees that there's something beyond where they're at. Gohan might be able to do it, but they're not really sure. But Beerus saying that this is probably his one and only chance to actually do it, because if he doesn't, Beerus might just destroy the planet. Well, Gohan's incentivized. So he'd power up into Super Saiyan 3. And Beerus, he's incredibly impressed. This is the strongest mortal he has ever laid eyes on, and he really wants to know what the Super Saiyan God is if it's not this, as Gohan, although being incredibly powerful, doesn't have any sort of God Ki, so he's not the Super Saiyan God. But Beerus is not going to destroy the planet. He doesn't want to. It's an amazing opportunity. And then everyone would continue partying and enjoying Bulma's birthday. But then Goku would have an idea. Why not use the Dragon Balls to find out about the Super Saiyan God? And Beerus is really up for anything at this point. If he can have the Super Saiyan God come here, well, that'd be awesome. If not, then he's still satisfied. So they would use the Dragon Balls and wish on Shinron to bring the Super Saiyan God to them. But no. Instead, the Super Saiyan God isn't a person, it's a form, and could be used or unlocked by a ritual. 5 Saiyans flowing their power into another, and then Shinron would disappear as he is absolutely terrified of Beerus. So then they would actually have more than enough Saiyans to actually do the ritual. They have Gohan, they have Trunks, they have Goku, Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa. That's 6 right there. They would probably also have Goten, so they have more than enough. So now everyone would begin to do the ritual, although not on Gohan here. He would have 2 reasons as to why not to choose him. First off, he doesn't actually want to be handed power like this. He wants to go down his own path and not actually embrace the godly side of what he could achieve. Instead, he wants to grow on his own. And the other half of this is he's not actually sure if the ritual would even work on him. How do they know that it doesn't mean full-blooded Saiyans can only become the Super Saiyan God? Yeah, sure, he might be able to participate in the ritual, but how do they know that he'd actually be able to have it work on him? So Beerus would agree, although a bit reluctantly, having Goku be the one to actually get the ritual done on him, as base to base, he is the strongest Saiyan there, excluding Gohan. Then Goku would become the Super Saiyan God. Now you might expect me to say this fight goes the same way it does in Battle of Gods, but no. Goku isn't actually too against being handed power here. He doesn't like it, but he's not going to actively reject the form. Instead, he would embrace it and continue to fight against Beerus. And he actually gets stronger the more and more the fight goes on. He would never actually drop out of his Super Saiyan God form though. He would still absorb it into his base form, but once he fades out of it, he would just power back up into it, as he wouldn't continuously reject having the form and having the power, so he would embrace it and have it as his own. Once the fight is actually over, Beerus would say that he is more than happy with everything that everyone has achieved here, as well as the powers that everyone has, so he would offer Goku and Gohan to train on his planet anytime. That way Gohan can try and actually unlock whatever power he's seeking, while Goku can continue down his godlike path. And the two would agree. Both love training, and being a martial arts master as well as increasing their power is something both of them enjoy doing. Gohan would still like his intellectual side, but he is definitely more of a fighter here. So now that's kind of where this saga ends. But as we know with Dragon Ball, one ending does not always mean that the world is safe. There's always going to be a new threat lurking behind every corner, and right now is no different. Although there would still be peacetime, after a while, a group of people would come to Earth and gather the Dragon Balls to make a sinister wish. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this, as I certainly enjoy making it, and if you could, please like the video, subscribe to the page, and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I release any new videos. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is, always has been, and always will be the Irishman. Talk to you later. Bye.